What's up, y'all? It's your girl, EJ.
And it's your girl, Tika.
And y'all, we're going to talk about season 1, episode 1 of The Boys, entitled The Name of the Game. And y'all already know it's time to talk that talk.
All right, EJ. So first time watching The Boys, and I know you heard about it. What were your thoughts on just the initial reaction of this show?
Girl, chaotic, crazy. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even know that this was an actual a comic book or something like that. Like, I had no clue what I was getting into when I watched it. What you think about it?
Girl, the shenanigans. I was just like, is this a good hero type of story, or is this like some superheroes with some issues? And so we're gonna dive into it and see, how it all plays out.
Now, girl, when the episode opened up, like literally there's a bank robbery, right? It looks like there's a bank robbery, and we got who we learned to be Queen Maeve and Homelander, and they're coming out there to save the day. I was here for it. Like, I was into it. But when we got to the very next scene where we're meeting Hugh and we're meeting Robin and we meet A-Train, this is when all the shenanigans began. And this was when we knew that The Boys was different.
Oh my God. When I tell you my stomach was twisted and turned into multiple different positions, I was like, he literally just ran this chick over, and he only stops to say he don't have time to stop. Like, bro, what is your thought process? What type of superhero are you really? And literally, I just felt so badly for Huey. He literally left standing there with her hands in his hands.
This is our first time getting introduced to Huey. This is our first time meeting him, and which happens to be one of our main characters. And this man is distraught, girl. Like, he is in grief. He don't know what to do. Like, and everybody is telling him his daddy, like, listen, they just want him to move on. And I'm just like, why? Would you have taken the money? Like, would you have taken the money? Because it don't feel like enough to me.
Not $45,000. $45,000 cannot do anything. It can't even get him a very good therapist to help him go through the process of grieving, the process that he needs to get through with seeing his girl unalive. I was with him when he said, all I want is really an apology. He wanted an apology and some acknowledgement that, they did him and his girl wrong. But they wanted to give a NDA and say, sign this paper, take this little $45,000 check, and don't tell nobody about it.
That part, because the way I was sitting up there, like, okay, this is disrespectful at most. You know what I'm saying? 45,000 plus, y'all need to come on out with the millions, especially when we learn at some point that they make billions of dollars. And y'all offered him 45,000 and had the nerve to talk about you weren't married to her. This is just your girl. Dude, I am psychologically traumatized because I was holding her hands just her hands. And this superhero, quote unquote, didn't even stop, just kept going. And now he's on TV gassing it up, saying that she was the problem, that she was in the way. Madeline is something else, Tika. She is a piece of work.
I don't know what her title is, but Madeline Stillwell is literally all about the money. I think she's like the president or something, or a CEO of Vault. Who they're literally all about money. They use these heroes for TV shows and other things, other ways of making more money. So Madeline, she's another one on my list. Garbage.
Starlight is the only shining thing on this show so far. As I am watching this, I'm like, okay, Starlight I can live with. And we learned that she's just a hometown girl. She wanted to be a hero. She's auditioning for the 7.
Listen, I saw Starlight boxing the wall. She lifting cars. She's practicing, how she's gonna do this whole interview with these people, and then she goes through the interview process. She's even taking a urinalysis, making sure she's clean and all this other stuff. She really eats, sleep, breathes being a superhero. But I think it also seems like her mom wants it more than she does.
Mm-hmm.
I know she wants it, but it's like her mom really wants it even more. It's almost like her mom is trying to kind of live vicariously through her.
Listen, why come when Starlight gets over, she gets this big welcoming, everybody's like, hey, 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 they rolled out the red carpet for her, like literally goes out, they have this big thing, and then we meet the Deep, like one of the, ew, ugh. And we're going to talk a little bit more about him later, but listen, she meets him and we have this moment where this man literally harasses her, like he assaults her. Like I was like, sir, you cannot be sexually assaulting people in the workplace. This is not gonna work. Like you cannot essay somebody. I was expecting her to like blow his eyes out or something or shine that light. So I would
Yeah,
did.
I was definitely expecting her to go ahead and send him on up to the upper room. But considering the fact that, she was brand new, he kind of talked to her and was telling her, hey, I'm like number two and I can basically help you move up the ranks and all this other stuff, all these lines that he was really feeding her and telling her that, hey, if you threaten me and all this other stuff, I can kind of report you and they'll go ahead and remove you and you won't be one of the seven.
Now, of course, we are going to meet Queen Maeve at this point. Like we're going to get more of an introduction to her. She's going to be in the bathroom when Starlight is in there vomiting, and she just gonna tell her like, "Girl, you gonna need to get it together. Like you cannot let them see you like that." But we also get to meet Translucent and find out that he is has a little bit of a voyeurism problem, and he likes to just sit there and watch and look at people. We gonna meet Billy Butcher.
Listen, when I initially saw Billy Butcher, all I could think of was him from Doom. I don't know if you remember that movie with him and The Rock in Doom. Oh my God, that's what I was revisiting. And then the accent came out, and I was like, okay, he's on something else on a whole other type of level. I thought he was like a bad guy at first because we don't really know, who he is. But then he comes and gives us a whole other element of who the character of Billy Butcher is. He's what did he say? He was an FBI with this. He flashes this badge and everything. I'm like, really, bro?
I said, now I know you ain't no FBI agent. I was like, from the very jump, I was like, now you know you ain't no FBI agent. And he's like, you want to get your get back. He like knew a little bit too much information than what he should have known. And I mean, and this is kind of where it all starts. Now, of course, the little fluff in between, Huey don't want to do it. He don't think he the person, yada, 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 all this other stuff. But eventually Huey decides that he's going to go ahead and do it. And he wants him to take the little what do you call that thing, intercom, whatever the thing is that you can listen to people, yes, the little tracker, and go into there, get his apology and get his little $45,000 and put that device in there. But we just talked about how Translucent always watching, always looking, and he actually sees him. To be honest, Huey actually pulled it off. I didn't think he was going to even be able to pull it off.
Like Butcher, how dare you go and drop this man off? You want him to go and plant a bug in this big office in the Seven Towers, and then you just gonna go and leave him, on his own? Like, what did you think? Like, come on, Butcher. But we do see that when he gets back into the store and he's just minding his business and Gary is leaving and then he hears somebody coming into the door and then he's like, sorry, we're closed. And what were you doing at the Seven Towers? Like, wait, what? Where's the voice coming from? So I was like, okay, oh my God, it's about to go down. He has been followed by Translucent. Didn't think Translucent would make it that far, but he followed him. He caught up with him.
We got to talk a little bit more about Madeline, because that was definitely the highlight for me was, seeing this whole big scene kind of come through, Translucent coming in there and everything going on. But what was more interesting was Madeline. I don't know. I got really intrigued with this character because of the fact that she comes off as this one thing, but she's like something totally different. There's a moment where we actually see her talking to the Baltimore mayor, right? And she wants to sell one of her soups to him, the Nubian Prince, and she wants 300 million for him. But the mayor's like, no, because I know about Compound V, and this is the first time we're hearing about this thing, Compound V. They don't really go into it a lot, but she kind of plays it off like she doesn't know what he's talking about. But later on, we're going to see that she's going to offer him a better price and that he needs to hush on that.
Threatening him, talking about, well, we will take him to Atlanta or we will take him to such and such. And it's like, you trying to drop this Nubian prince off in all the black neighborhoods. I see what you're doing, Madeline. But at the end of the day, with Madeline, it is literally all about the money. It's about who she can use, how much money she can spend, and try to, talk her way. Like, 230 million, she dropped it to 230 million from 300 million, which is what they would have to pay her or the company vault to actually get Nubian Prince into their city. And so Madeline is cutthroat. She wants what she wants, and she's going to figure out a way to get it, from what gathering from this very first episode, Madeline.
Now, moving on to the very last scene of this episode, we learned something that's going to be pivotal for ongoing into the rest of this whole entire show. And I ain't even gonna lie to you, I really didn't see this coming at first, because again, I ain't know nothing about this show. But at the very end, after we've negotiated this price, the mayor's boarded his plane, right? He's getting on the plane, his son is there, they getting ready to go home. Next thing you know, who's over to the side? Mr. Hero, Mr. what some would believe is like a Captain America type, is flying in the air, right beside the plane. And then all of a sudden, them laser beams, shoo, I said, oh my God. And I ain't even gonna lie, I was like, Madeline, you trifling, because you're the only person who could have sent him out to do.
Girl, Homelander was the worst of the worst, clearly. Not only did the mayor get Homelander's autograph for his son, but Homelander sees that the son is on this plane with him, and he literally does not care and decides to just take the whole thing down. I'm like, oh my God, if the devil had a cape, it would definitely be Homelander at this point. I just felt, of course, me, I got that little empathetic side. I felt bad because there was a child on board, and the mayor didn't deserve that. All he wanted was somebody to save his community. That's all. And so, yeah, Madeline definitely orchestrated this, even after on the phone pretending that it was okay, that they were going to drop the price. But when he opened his mouth and said that he knew about Compound V, that's when she knew she had to get rid of him, because 230 million, that still wasn't going to be, sufficient for anybody to keep their mouth shut about Compound V. Even making that whole bargaining, that whole deal that she did with him, it was still not enough. He knew about Compound V and he had to go. And Madeline, she set it in stone. Take him out.
Why else would Homelander do this if it wasn't Madeline? Like, that just didn't make any sense to me. So, it is what it is. But I mean, honestly, that's really like that was the highlight of this episode. Like, as far as the ending of the episode, that's how it went off. And I said, oh my God, this show is about to be a roller coaster of a freaking ride. What did I get myself into? But I'm excited for it, because I feel like this is going to be an interesting watch. The superheroes being the bad guys, like, where'd they do that at? Okay, y'all. So this right here is our segment where we actually go off on any character in the show. And this is that type of show where it's going to be a lot to go off on. We call it Talk That Rant. And if you got a rant of your own, go ahead and drop down in the comments and let us know who you want to go off on. I'm going off on A-Train, Tika, because why? He didn't have to do none of this right here. I'm gonna put 30 seconds up on the board and let me just see how much I can talk, okay? Let me see if I can talk that talk. So first of all, A-Train, you're doing too much. You didn't have to run through that girl like that. You started all of this, and to be honest, I feel like you created a monster. I don't know what Huey's gonna do, but I feel like he's gonna be coming for you. You might be the fastest man on earth, but I do feel like Huey, you done set something off in him and he about to come get you at some point. You really didn't have to do that. Right? And then you got up there and you gave that half-ass apology. What was that about? Seriously. You didn't even say, I'm sorry, really. And then you didn't even want to come in there and tell him to his face that you were sorry. You made this seem like this was this girl's fault, but it wasn't. So at the end of the day, I hope you get what you get, because why? This was unnecessary. This was not really well thought of, and you really ain't no superhero at all. And I'm not even rooting for you, and you ain't no Cam. For real, for real. Anyway, Tika, who you going off on, girl? Who you going off on?
Listen, I'm gonna start with the deep. Deep, the deep, low deep, under deep, too deep, not too deep enough. Listen, sir, you are a little dirtbag. Yes, your name starts with a D, but you're a dirtbag to go and insult the beauty, the starlight, the one who is so innocent, so pure, this young girl who has no clue what she's really getting herself into, but to try to assault her was way too disgusting for me. You pull down your little slimy pants. You have probably a pencil. Never mind, won't even go that far. But listen, bro, come on with and then the tan line on the bottom. It was, or the lack of a tan line. It was just giving disgusting to me. So D, disgusting, dirtbag, deep. Okay, and that's all I got.
Okay, listen. So that was Talk That Talk rant, y'all. And don't forget, if you got a rant of your own, please drop down in the comments and let us know who you going off on and why you going off on them, because these characters are disrespectful, y'all, and I'm here for all of it. Okay, y'all, so this is the part right here where we tell y'all what our top 3 moments of this episode was. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off, Tika. I think the number one top moment had to be A-Train running through Poe Robin, because she didn't even see it coming, y'all. Like, she didn't see it coming at all, and all you saw was this blood, gore, and everything. And it was that moment that we knew that this show was about to be out of pocket.
The number 2 moment was when Huey and Butcher ended up in the Super Club, okay? Shenanigans, body stretching, Ezekiel's, and people swinging from pole to pole, and little men running and diving into people, and it was just crazy, y'all.
The number 3 moment, I think, had to be that fight scene between Huey, Translucent, and Billy. But the main part for me was when Huey pulls out the electrical cord and then Billy pushes Translucent into it, and it was just a shocking moment, to say the least. So anyway, y'all, that is what's up with season 1, episode 1 of The Boys. I must say that this literally has been a really good first watch for me. I didn't expect any of this stuff, and I'm really excited for what's about to go down, because I feel like it's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of messiness, just a lot of blood and gore and stuff that I really can't imagine, but I'm gonna enjoy.
First episode literally introed us into all of the characters that we're gonna see throughout the rest of the show, and it's a lot of things that are gonna happen that are not so expected of who we call superheroes. I guess you gotta watch who you call your superhero. But at the end of the day, y'all, I'm definitely locked in. I'm definitely here. So
anyway, y'all, that is what's up with Season 1, Episode 1 of The Boys. Please make sure to go ahead and drop down in the comments. Let us know what you thought. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of our future TDT talks. And y'all already know what to do. We're going to talk to y'all later. Peace.